What is up, gamers? Welcome back to another Deck Tech. Today we're doing Megumi and Mahoraga from Jujutsu Kaisen. Thanks to those of you who voted, and Toto is coming soon, I promise, all right? So let's meet the boys, all right? We got Extus Oriq Overlord. He's 1 a white and 2 black for a human warlock legendary creature with double strike, and most importantly, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And he's acting as our Megumi, summoning a bunch of shadow guys. Super sick. Then we got Awaken the Blood Avatar. It's 6 colorless, a black and a red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 colorless less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. Each opponent then sacrifices a creature, create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste, and whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. This is going to be our Mahoraga, killing everybody. It's going to be super awesome. So our plan is sacrifice a ton to the big boy. All right, that's the blood avatar there. Then we're going to bring back our own creatures using Extus if we have a mount. And then we're going to do some mutually assured destruction using some edict effects in order to make sure that our sacrifices are not in vain. So let's talk about the Megumi Special. All right, this is all about summoning and some fun shenanigans in that sense. We got Tormod the Desecrator, 3 and a black for legendary creature zombie wizards. You can't bring him back, but he says whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. So we're going to start making a bunch of zombies every instant and sorcery if we have Megumi out on the battlefield. Then we got Realm Cloaked Giant. Adventures, surprisingly, guys, are not too bad with Extus because you can cast the sorcery version to bring back a creature and then cast the creature version of the adventure. And when you cast another instant, you can bring back the creature with the adventure, recast the adventure, do a bunch of shenanigans. So Realm Cloaked Giant, pretty bad, but the sorcery cast off is good because it's a board wipe. Same thing with Selfless Glyph Weaver, 2 and a white. You exile it, creatures you control gain indestructible. That's not a bad thing to have, but you want the board wipe on the back of it that you can get because you bring back the creature. It just so happens that there is a board wipe on the back, which is very on theme. Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a lot of destruction and scary things going on. So you basically just want to be wiping the board all the time until you're in the right headspace to start popping off. All right. And of course, Megumi has the potential to rival Gojo. And what does this mean? Infinite potential. All right. We got Storm Kiln Artist, 3 and a red for a creature dwarf shaman. It gets a +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. Okay. Some of you can see where I'm going here. We also got Sedgemoor Witch, 2 and a black for a human warlock. It has Menace. It also has Ward, pay 3 life for some reason. And Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 black green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Okay. Seems good on the, the instant sorcery casting stuff that we're going to be doing. Well, we also have Chain of Smog, 1 and a black. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. That player may copy this spell and may choose a new target for that copy. So basically, you can target yourself, discard 2 cards, then copy this spell, target yourself again, and then copy it. Basically, you can go infinite on yourself. Using Stormkiln Artist, you get infinite treasure. With the Witch, you get infinite 1/1s that when they die, gain infinite life. This is a crazy, awesome shenanigans combo. And I thought it was very fun and an auto include in a Megumi deck. Now you're wondering how we're going to get it. We can use Oriq Lore Mage to tap and search our library for any card, put it into the graveyard, and if it's instant or sorcery, put a +1 counter on Oriq Lore Mage. And we're going to go searching for Ardent Elementalist, 3 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So you chuck Chain of Smog into your graveyard, then you chuck Ardent Elementalist, then you cast an instant or sorcery, bring back Ardent Elementalist, slam it onto the board, get your Chain of Smog, boom, you just did the epic step, and now you can hit your infinite combo. We're also running black, so we can just run every tutor and do it that way as well, which I'd recommend. This was just a fun little combo, and that's why you guys stick around. Am I right? Anyway, Fodder. Let's remember what our Mahoraga does, Awaken the Blood Avatar. We're going to need a bunch of tokens, most likely is the easiest way to do this, to sacrifice, so that way our spell is cheaper. It also, when we sacrifice it, and it gets 2 colorless less to cast, this does account for commander tax because it is our commander. Weirdly, I know a sorcery is your commander, but it will get commander tax each time you cast it. So you're going to need more and more creatures to cast it over and over again. So we're running Young Pyromancer, 1 and a red. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. That's fodder, right? Charismatic Conqueror, 1 and a white. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped and under an opponent's control, they may tap that permanent. If they don't, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So it's a win-win. Either your opponents put themselves further behind by tapping their permanents, or you get 1/1s that you can then later sacrifice to make your opponents sacrifice stuff. And their lifelink as well, so you can gain life. So that way, when they hit you, they don't hurt that bad. And then we got Anim Pakal, Thousandth Moon. 1 red and a white. For legendary creatures, so you can't recur this guy as easily. But whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a +1 counter on Anim Pakal, then make X 1/1, where X is the number of +1 counters on Anim. So it's going to start out with 1, then 2, then 3, 4, etc. If you get Anim stronger earlier, you get more gnomes that you can then sacrifice. And we have a whole bunch of other guys in there. I just cover these guys a lot in my other videos like Wanderglyph, etc. So let's bring in some fresh guys for Megumi, all right? Now, of course, all these deaths and sacrifices need some payoffs. So we're running Blood Artist, 1 and a black. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Stuff is going to be dying all over the place. Our enemies are going to be sacrificing creatures here and there, so we're going to be able to ping them whenever their own stuff dies, is kind of the most fair way to do it. And then we got Zulaport Cutthroat, 1 and a black. Whenever Zulaport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So if we have 10 tokens, we can sacrifice all of them to our commander sorcery, and then each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life, which is really sweet. We've also got Cruel Celebrant, which is the exact same thing as Zulaport Cutthroat, except it's a white and a black, and it also works on Planeswalkers. We have 1 Planeswalker in the deck. Check the deck list if you're curious. It just pops off with the infinite. We also got Mirkwood Bats, 3 and a black. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. So we're going to be creating a bunch of tokens off our Wanderglyphs, or a bunch of our Elementalists, etc. And then we're going to be sacrificing them to our commander, and everyone's going to be losing life. Of course, when our stuff dies, we want Mahadi, Emporium Master, 1, a red, and a black, to make treasure tokens for us. That way we have more mana to cast more stuff, and just keep spiraling out of control. Now, of course, how do we win? If you don't like the infinite, we've also got some other fun ways to do it, like using Ashnod's Altar and Grave Pact or Butcher Malakir to make sure that our opponents are also feeling the hurt whenever we sacrifice our stuff. So we throw in our gnomes that we get every upkeep to Ashnod's Altar, clearing the board and making way for some of our Blood Artist triggers, our Aristocrat stuff. That way we're pinging and slowly just siphoning away their life, which is a pretty sweet Jujutsu Sorcerer kind of thing to do. Just absolutely blowing through somebody with their cursed energy. All right, and then we have enough mana, thanks to Ashnod's, to cast Rise of the Dark Realms for like 2 mana, 2 or 3 mana, which puts all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So we want to make sure our opponents are sacrificing their creatures, not just us. That way, Rise of the Dark Realms and other stuff like that pops off even harder. So yeah, thank you for sticking around to the very end. We got 1 last card we gotta run, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't hear the end of it. Saw in half. Gotta run Saw in half. Am I right, fellas? If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And then leave a comment for what sort of decks you guys want next. I'm having a great time with Jujutsu Kaisen, but I've got a bunch of other animes sort of in the pipeline. If you guys want me to expedite those and get those further ahead, I would love to. But yeah, thank you so much and have a great day.